What is up, Bodyweight exercise dads? This is a series for the busy father who wants to get strong and lean without wasting hours in the gym. In episode 1 of this series, we covered the top 3 mistakes that hold you back from achieving this. Number 1 being rushing through or completely neglecting your warm-up, which is why today I'll be sharing with you the most dense, time-saving, and practical calisthenics warm-up you can do in just 7 minutes. In a nutshell, the routine consists of my top 10 mobility drills and dynamic stretches that will help you decrease stiffness and smoothly prime your body for enhanced performance while avoiding injury. This way you can crush it right after with your workout, but you can also use this routine before engaging in more playful, dynamic activities with your kids. Let's say, for example, you want to play some basketball with them, but you don't want to risk throwing out your back or having your shoulder be sore for days, because let's face it, our kids might be able to sprint right out of bed, but that's not the case for us anymore. All right, so to get started, we're gonna need a decent quality workout mat. Maybe your wife has a yoga mat somewhere, go get that. We're gonna lie on the floor and we're gonna get started with 15 big and smooth backward shoulder rolls. A good cue here is pulling your shoulders away from your ears while extending your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Our next exercise is prone air pull-ups. This is a new favorite warm-up exercise of mine. I don't know if it really has a name, so I just call it like that. To get started, to brace your glutes and quads while extending your knees with your toes pointing backwards. And from this position, you want to extend your arms to the front with your palms facing the floor as if you're trying to grab a pull-up bar. Next, bring your arms back, and the cue you want to focus on here is pulling your elbows into your rib cage in order to get a good squeeze of your lats. Again, this is one of my new favorite exercises, especially for days that I'm about to do pull-ups. And while doing this, I'm always envisioning that I am doing pull-ups. I'm trying to activate the same muscles and get the same sensation as if I'm doing actually pull-ups on a bar. Next, moving on to lumbar rocks, one of my favorite exercises for mobilizing the spine. Lie on your back, extend your arms as if you're trying to form a capital letter T, and while keeping your body as stable as possible by also pressing your palms against the floor to create a little bit more stability, in a controlled fashion, rock your knees to the right and left, and that is 1 rep. By the way, if it's been a long time since you've engaged in any form of exercise, especially if you haven't done any mobility work for a while, I would recommend an easier regression of the exercise, starting with your heels on the floor. Okay, next exercise, lying knee extensions. Great exercise for the hamstrings and your knees. From the same position, place your pelvis in posterior pelvic tilt, straighten one leg and lift the other one, bending at the knee and crossing your fingers behind your thigh. The higher the grip, so the closer your hands to your knee, the more difficult the exercise becomes. So if you have really tight hamstrings, start from a low position that feels comfortable. From there, extend your knee as much as possible without forcing anything. You shouldn't be feeling any pain, just a light stretch in the hamstrings. Next exercise are glute bridges. Great exercise for your lower back, for warming up the lower body. Place your feet at an arm's length distance, press your heels against the floor and bring your pelvis at a height where knees, pelvis, and shoulders are aligned. Squeeze your glutes at the top while making sure your pelvis is again in posterior pelvic tilt. This is important so you're not putting any extra tension on your lower back. Next exercise, seated windmills. Most dads really struggle with this one. Most dads can't even get in the original position, but don't worry, this is why we're doing this exercise. I'll give you easier regressions. That way you can work on it and slowly get more comfortable with it so you can sit on the floor, play with your kids without getting a sore back. Now, the basic guidelines for performing this exercise are that you sit on the floor, you maintain a nice upright position, you're not hunching forward, and you twist your upper body right and left, extending each hand's fingers towards the opposite foot's toes. But since for most of you this will feel almost impossible, your lower back will start to tighten, what you want to do to make the exercise is simply bend your knees enough so you can maintain that nice upright position without being in pain. Also, in the beginning, you don't have to be able to touch your toes. This takes time, start with touching your knees. After that, you can extend a little bit further to your shins. And again, through time, you're gonna increase your range of motion and you'll be getting better and better. Moving on to a basic hip stretch. Step forward with your left leg as your right knee remains anchored on the floor. Place your hands next to your front leg and gently push your hips in forward motions. You can also pull your leg behind you using opposite hand, opposite foot to make the exercise a bit more challenging. If you have the flexibility for it, of course. If you don't, you can also hold it against a wall. But if you're new with this, just start with the first easy version. Next exercise, what I like to call straight elbow push-ups. From a straight elbow plank position with your knees locked and your quads braced in order to keep your pelvis from sinking. Push your body away from the floor by bringing your shoulder blades together, in other words, protracting them, and bring your body back down again by bringing them away. A very important technical aspect of this exercise is that movement should be produced only through the shoulder blades without hunching the shoulders at any point, or if you want, again, the same good old cue, keep your shoulders away from your ears. By the way, if you're a complete beginner and these feel a little bit too difficult as a warm-up exercise, you can also do them on an elevated surface. Moving on, candy wrappers. To perform this exercise, stand up straight and extend your arms away from your body. Turn one palm up. This is external shoulder rotation, and at the same time, the other palm back. This is internal shoulder rotation, and reverse the opposite way again. That is 1 rep. Alright, so final exercise, straight elbow pull-ups. I couldn't get good enough footage indoors, so I'll be sharing some outdoor footage with you. From a passive dead hang, meaning a relaxed hanging position, pull your shoulders back and down, or in more technical terms, depress the scapulas. And when you get this right, you'll notice that your chest will point a bit upwards and your head rising an inch or two between your shoulders. Give the routine a try. I know it looks simple, but you'll feel a lot better from simply diving straight into your pull-ups and push-ups. In the beginning, it might take a little bit more time until you master everything, the whole sequence, until you learn everything by heart. But once you're able to smoothly transition from one exercise to the other, it shouldn't take more than 7 to maybe 8 max minutes. If you don't have even that small amount of time to warm up, I will tell you, just don't work out at all if you want to do this at least in a sustainable long-term way. If you're a busy dad and you're looking for a complete solution to staying strong and lean without going to the gym, have a look at the free video training below where I talk about what exactly it takes to accomplish that. And you can also learn a little bit about my new program, the Dad Bod Demolition Project. And until next time, keep on training.